drone equipment and maintenance. Okay. Before I start, I want to ask all of you, why do you think that we required a maintenance of our drone? Do we really require a maintenance of our drone? अभी हम लोग घर में टीवी देखते हैं, फ्रिज यूज करते हैं, लॉट ऑफ other equipment. We hardly do any maintenance of them. Then why do we require drone maintenance?
To keep it in working condition.
Keep it in working conditions. One is working condition, but most important is to make sure that drone before flying or anytime when we are flying, we have to make sure that drone is good condition in flying. Okay, we do not encounter any trouble or any problems when it is in flight. That is the reason why whenever the aircraft is going to fly, it is a job of an aircraft maintenance engineer to verify each and every component over there. So they have a checklist which could be maybe 100 points are there. Okay, so they have to check each every time the aircraft is on the ground. It's a job of a aircraft engineer, maintenance engineer, to check thoroughly all that thing before it takes the flight. But then it is not only the job of a engineer, it's the job of the pilot also. So pilot may be having his own checklist. He may not be checking 100% all the components. He will refer to the checklist what is being followed by the engineer to see that if there is any false or any wrong information. I mean, wrong means anything which is concerned. Okay, whereas pilot is having his own checklist also, which may not cover all 100 points, but he may be having some roughly around 20-25 points from his perspective, which is important for him to check or he is supposed to check. Okay, but there will be a detailed checklist which a engineer, the aircraft engineer, will follow, and they will make the recordings into that. So every time before the flight, they have to make sure that they are verifying the craft so that it is airworthy. Okay, that is what we'll call as airworthiness. Okay, so every time you have to verify structural inspection hai, engine inspections hai, then your landing gears inspections hai, wing informations hai, with sensors inspections are there. So there are some physical inspections are there. Some are done through the software, some are done through some other devices and all that things. Okay, so they have to do it fast within a period so that the aircraft is ready for the next flight. Okay, so that is what is important. So it is always said in the aviation world, it is more costlier to keep the aeroplane on the ground than in the air. Okay, the more the aircraft is flying, it is generating more revenue for you. The more you keep it on the ground or parked, it is causing you expenses. Okay, because even parking the aeroplane at the aerodrome or aircraft or in a hangar is an expense or a cost to you. Okay, so it is always said that in aviation you have to keep your crafts flying. You have to make sure your aeroplanes are continuously flying. So you will see a lot of times when we are flying, like Indigo aeroplanes and all the things. So a lot of time they will make announcement that you have to, they will make sure that the aeroplane is ready. The moment you land at the airport, the crew is working to make sure that the people get down and get their aeroplane cleaned and everything ready for the next flight immediately. So within 30 minutes to max 1 hour, they get the aeroplane ready for the next flight. Okay, so everything happens parallelly. So they are doing all that maintenance activity, inspection activity, all that things within that time. Similarly, when we are flying a drone, okay, during practical sessions, okay, how big or small drone it is, we have to make sure that we see the inspections of it. We make sure that that drone is in a good shape for flying. The bigger enterprise drones like agriculture drones, surveillance drones, cinematographer drones, delivery drones, all that drones will require a maintenance. So there are two types of maintenance. One is day-to-day maintenance and one is the comprehensive maintenance, which you do after certain period of flights or certain period of time. Like how normally when we are driving a car or a bike, what we do? We start the bike, we'll check it, or we start the car, we check whether, we'll just take the car, we'll see whether there is enough water, oil, brake oil, the tire pressure in the tire, everything, those basic things we will check. But over the period of time, like maybe period of like 3 months, 6 months, or maybe a period of 1 year, we will give our car for servicing, right? So that is your comprehensive maintenance, what you do it. So that point in time, you will change the oil, you may change the tire, or you may swap the tires. All those things you will do it. You will change the brake oil. Okay, if there are certain filters or certain components needs to be changed, so all those things will happen during the servicing period. On day-to-day basis, you will just check the basic things whether everything is okay, so that you can drive your car or ride your bike properly or not. But on a longer term, maybe 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year, you will give for a long bigger servicing or better servicing. Like for example, bikes, we normally in a year we'll change the brake lining, or cables, or the engine oil, all those things. Or there are some issues with the lightings and all the things. So if there is any issues, so a lot of time we take it. So especially before the monsoon, a lot of people give their vehicles for servicing, because they don't get problem during the monsoon, because it is a trend that if you are not service your vehicle on time, possibility of your failure of your vehicle during the monsoon is more. Okay, so similarly for the drone perspective, we always have to take care of our drone. Okay, so drone equipment and maintenance. So regular uses may result in wear and tear of UAV, thus requiring regular maintenance checks. So comprehensive maintenance has to be performed after every 200 flights or 50 flight hours. Okay, whatever is possible. Like normally, whenever you buy a new car or bike, they will normally say, right, you will either drive for 100 kilometer or 1 month. Within that period, you have to give for a first servicing. Next servicing could be maybe after 1,000 kilometers, and after 3 months or a 6 months period kind of thing. So depending upon that. So comprehensive maintenance for UAE has to be performed for 200 after every 200 flights or 50 flight hours. Again, this is subjective to drone and the specification provided by the OEM. Okay, so again you have to refer your OEM documentation for comprehensive maintenance period. So some might say 100 flights also, some might say only 25 flights also, depending upon drone to drone. Okay, pre-flight and post-flight checks has to be done every per flight. Okay, so every time you are doing the drone flying, you have to make sure. So when we are doing practicals, we will be doing these pre-flight checks. Okay, so there are a lot of pre-flight checks are supposed to be done. During the flight also some checks are supposed to be done. After the flight, that means every time you land your drone, you have to follow some post-flight checks also. Then only you hand over the drone to the next person. So when you are tomorrow you are flying, let's say Parth is flying the drone, and Prayesh is his co-pilot. So when Parth is flying, he will do all his pre-flight, in-flight, post-flight checks. Then only after he completes the complete cycle, then only he will give his remote to Prayesh for his activities. Then Prayesh will again start doing his pre-flights, in-flight and post-flight, and then he will subsequently hand over the drone and the RC to the next person. Okay, or even they are doing it like Prayesh and Parth are doing multiple sessions. So when Prayesh is doing, he has to do his pre-flight, post-flight, all those things. Then he hand it over to Parth. Again Parth does pre-flight, post-check, and then he hand it back to Prayesh. So that cycle you have to continue. So you cannot excuse, or you should not never exempt all these pre-flight and post-flight checks. Okay, so it is mandatorily to be done as a responsible pilot. Okay, and you have to follow those procedures. Maintenance checklist and manuals with the standard operating procedures is available with the OEMs. Okay, so whenever you purchase any drone, whether you purchase a drone from DJI, Autel, Parrot, Osteria, IoTech, Garuda, Asteria, or Idea Force, any company, any OEM who manufactures the drone, they are supposed to give you the manuals. Okay, checklist and manuals with the standard operating procedures. Okay, so you have to follow every time it is recommended. You follow the OEM checklist and the manuals. Okay, for standard operating procedure of your drone. That's why yesterday you saw that in the do's and don'ts slides, the first statement is clear that you should be well versed with the drones. So before flying the drone, you have to go through those manuals also. Read the manuals thoroughly, see what is what. You should be well versed with the flying requirement of the drones. You should not never fly drone on trial and error basis. Okay, you should always read the manuals and then do the activities on the drone, because here you are actually flying a device in the air. Okay, the possibility of crashing it is very higher when you are not aware how to fly it properly. Okay, so first thing about the checklist is the structural inspection. Clean air, mud and dirt. Inspect the airframe for cracks. So cracks is the most important thing which you should not avoid. Check for loose screws. Check propellers for any kind of a damage. Check propellers for free spinning. Check motor for debris or obstructions. Check the state of wiring or solder joints. Check the gimbal and camera lens is clean. Check the landing gear conditions. Inspect the antenna. So a lot of time antennas have been folded. A lot of people forget to open them to the antenna and they just fly. So when you are flying the drone, it is very near to you. So that time the antenna may be able to catch the signal. But when you are flying and you give a pitch forward, all of a sudden there is no communication between the drone and the RC. And then when drone comes to know there is no communication between RC and drone happening, automatically it will trigger the RTL or RTH. Okay, this is called as GCS fail. Okay, so that means your ground control has failed to communicate with the drone. So in that scenario, drone will automatically take the action and it will conduct the RTL functionality. Okay, so your drone will automatically land back. Okay, so we were actually facing this problem in the last session, and we have actually logged the case with the engineer. Engineer has went on Sunday. He has gone there on site. He has done the checking, verification, and all those things, and he has taken the test flight, and now he has certified that now it is a good. Now you will not have those problems about the RTL. So every time my student was trying to fly the drone, immediately after 2 seconds it was actually giving a GCS failsafe, and the drone was triggering RTL and drone was landing automatically on the ground. Okay, so we had a difficulty in flying that drone. So not to take a risk, we have to log the case immediately with the vendor, and we called the engineer to inspect. We tried to do ourselves initially. We tried to take remotely help, but then it was not having. We were not having those tools and requirements of the testing the drones and all things. So we logged the case with the engineer, and engineer has come and done all the tests and checks, and then he has certified that it is now a good drone to fly. Okay. Prior to that also we were having some problem on the software side also. So that point in time also we have logged the case with the OEM, and we got the engineer on site to check it, and he has checked and he has done some upgradation of the patches, and he has certified. He had done the test flights, and then he has certified that okay, now it is good. You will not have the errors. Okay, so similarly after the what we call structural inspection of the drone or external inspection of the drone, you should always check the battery status. Inspect the charger for the visible damage. Inspect the battery pack for bulges or leakages. Charge all batteries. So a lot of time we have a habit, right? 80% battery chalo uda ke. You should never do that. Okay, you should always use your battery with 100% charge. Okay, don't use half charged batteries or all those things. So that will give a less flight time, and it is very riskier. Okay, so you should always charge your battery 100%. That's why if you see nowadays, even in DJI drones, they earlier they used to give only one battery with the drone. Now they are giving 3 set of batteries along with the charger. Where you can charge all the 3 batteries in the same time. Okay. However, even that charger has a facility. Let's say your batteries, there are 3 batteries with only 20% charge. Nowadays the configuration is such a way that one battery can accumulate or bring all those 20% of charges into one battery itself. So that possibility is also there. Okay, so that your battery charge is not over 20%, but you will have a battery of around 55 or maybe 60% of battery available. So you are not using half charge battery, but you are at least having a good amount of battery over there. Even 60% is not advisable, but in DJI they have a threshold limit of 10%. Okay, so there you can utilize that battery. But ideally in normal scenario we always say, because for example our drone, they are only able to fly for 15 minutes. Their flight time is only 15 minutes. So for 15 minutes is 100%. So if I say 50%, I will hardly get 7 minutes of flight time. So I will never use 50% of my battery. I will always make sure that whenever I am flying my drone, I am making sure that my drone is 100% charged. My drone batteries are 100% charged. So on day 3, end of the sessions, we will be making sure that all our batteries are being charged and being kept ready. Okay, so that we can use them on day 4 and day 5. So on day 4 we will be utilizing the batteries whatever we have charged. in the evening session also, before evening session, that is in afternoon session also, we'll again keep the batteries what are been discharged, we'll keep them for charging, and then we'll utilize again then in the evening. Again in the night we'll be charging for day 5 and we'll be using on day 5 accordingly. So every time, so those people wanted to know more about, they can always take a voluntary assignment of making sure the batteries have been ready and charged. So you can learn about those cycles, okay, how your battery charging, because this charger needs to be set. So a lot of time we always have a power cut in that location, okay, it's a rural area, so you will see a lot of time power cut happens. So when your power cut happens, your drone charging stops, drone battery charging stops. So you have to go there again at the charger station, you have to set the charger and on the you have to restart your charging. Even when you complete the charging, the charger will automatically say it is finished the charging, so it will never overcharge your batteries. So these are smart chargers, so you should learn how to charge these batteries also, okay. So it is not that you just leave the battery for charging like normally how we do a mobile battery charging, right? You just connect the battery and put on the switch, that's it. वो चार्ज होता रहेगा, 100% होता है, 100% होने के बाद भी 2 घंटा वो चार्जिंग पे ही रहता है. So that is where you are actually overcharging or degrading your battery by overcharging. Whereas these chargers and these batteries are a different types, okay. They are lithium ion and the charger is a smart charger, so it will has to be triggered for charging, and when it finishes charging, when it is charged 100% the battery, the charger will automatically go in a finish mode, okay. So it will not further charge your batteries. That way you will have a better charging options and you will have no degradation of your battery will happen, okay. Then softwares and firmware, update your drone firmware, update your control station software. So like in this case of third party drones, it is always advisable to follow the OEM guidelines, whereas for the type certified drones, the DJI says that whatever the drone software and firmware is being certified during the type certification, that same software and firmware you have to use throughout. They don't allow you to upgrade, okay. Up till date they have not allowed any OEM to upgrade their software or firmware once it is done a type certifications, okay. Again, finishing is keeping a track of maintenance report. So you should always, whenever you perform a maintenance report or maintenance activity on drone, you should keep a record of your maintenance. You change couplers, you change motors, you replace the batteries, you change the landing gear or any other component apart from flight controller and RC, because those are things not allowed to be changed, but motors, propellers, all those things are allowed to be changed, okay. So in that scenario, you should always keep a record. Similarly, like how your garage, okay, the car or motorbike garage, they keep a record, okay, when this car or this bike has come for maintenance. So they will keep a track at that point in time, what was the kilometer, whether oil is been changed, whether brake, whatever components have been changed, they keep a record just to see when you give for a next time, go to that location for a next servicing, they have a record, okay, last time what has been done. So for the same purposes, or when was last servicing was done, when was the last maintenance of the drone was done, what was changed or what was checked during that point in time, what was the status of the drone, whether the propellers were changed, propellers were in good shape, motors were functioning proper, battery was in a good shape or not, and all those things. So all that parameters are being checked during your maintenance phase. So that report you need to maintain throughout. Okay, so structural infection, if in case you find during the structural inspection there is a mud or a dust around the propellers or in the motor or thing, you have to get them cleaned. So you have to disconnect your battery pack, use the air duster or blower to remove the dust and the mud over the propellers, over the motors or near the frame and all that things, okay. Or you can use a microfiber cloth or maybe a small nylon brush, okay, small soft brush you can use to clean up the dust or the dirt over there, okay. So these are some tools like anti-static cloth, small cleaning brush, compressed air canisters, or there are blowers are also available which can be used, or anti-static wristband you have to use, because a lot of time static electricity you may damage your ESCs or your flight controllers or electronic items. So you should always wear a anti-static band when you are touching the drone or doing some manual inspection of your drone. And then isopropyl alcohol is also required. Like lot of times, since you see the motor here is an open motor, you can see the coils inside. So lot of time when you're flying this type of a drone, it is possibility that the mud or the dust, or because of even the moisture, okay, and the thin fine dust goes inside that motor, and over the period of time your motor is not efficiently, you can hear the noise or you can hear the friction caused when the motor is spinning or your propellers are spinning. Okay, so if you're finding that kind of noise or that kind of situation, you should always remove the propeller, you should remove the motor and dip it into the isopropyl alcohol for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you have to remove that motor out from the isopropyl alcohol solution and keep it for a 6 hours in a dry, okay, covered with the silicone bags, okay, silicone, those gels, so that all the moisture, all the things are being absorbed and your motor is good. Then you check the motor again for the motion, you will normally feel the smoothness, okay, or noise free motion of your motor. In that scenario, then you can connect back the same motor. If it is not getting cleaned, then probably you may have to open the motor and get it thoroughly cleaned, okay, in that scenario. But then that has to be done if you are aware of how to do those things. If you are not aware of those things, then you should always ask the engineer to come, or the technician who is capable of doing all these activities. He should be doing these activities and getting the things back to the normal. Okay. So again, carefully inspect the airframe for damage. You should perform this check on a regular basis. Ensure all parts are serviced accordingly. Even the smallest crack can cause critical problems if left unnoticed. So there are cases in aviation where the smallest cracks or even minor cracks are being ignored by the engineers, okay, the aircraft engineers, and it has caused a failure and even the crashes in the aeroplane or in the civil aviations. So it is advisable in aviation world that even the smallest crack should not be ignored. It can cause a critical problem if left unnoticed. So moment you saw such kind of a problems, you should always report those problems and you should make sure that they are being rectified before the next flight is taken. Okay. So during routine maintenance, check each component carefully, extremely carefully, and make note of damage you find. So in case you are finding any damage, make sure that you are recording that. Okay, in case you find anything like that, you should always make a note of it and get it rectified before the flight. That is what it is being told. Okay, ensure each component is secure. Like if you are changing any components, anything like landing gear change कर रहे हो, propeller change कर रहे हो, motor change कर रहे हो, whatever you are changing, make sure that you are putting back everything as it was earlier. Okay, check the fastening, bolts and all those things. Don't over tighten them. Okay, a lot of people have habit to tight. So when you're tightening it over excessively, a lot of time the damage is also caused during that point in time, or there is a small crack goes, like you can see in the picture over here, right? Or you can see here, because of tightening of the bolt, there is a slight crack has occurred in the body or the structure over here. So tight it as much as it required. Don't over tighten or don't give extra strain on the bolts or the screws and all the things. It may damage, it may cause a crack, or it may damage the threadings and all that things. So you have to take care how much you need to tight. Okay. When you are checking the propellers, okay, your propellers can be dirty, they can be chipped, or they can be cracked. Okay, if it is dirty, you can clean them with a cloth or a microfiber cloth and all the things. Okay, or a wet cloth also. Propeller damage can go unnoticed until it proves critical. Inspection for the cracks, proper fitting of props to the motor. Unattended cracks can lead to mid-flight failures. Okay, if there is a crack, okay, crack, I am talking about the crack. Okay, टूटा हुआ है, क्रैक हो गया, लाइन दिख रहा है पूरा. In that scenario, you should always replace those propellers. You should never use those cracked propellers. Okay. So again, check the type of, when you are replacing, replace with the right type of propeller. Lot of time people make mistake that clockwise propeller, they replace it with the counterclockwise, or counterclockwise with clockwise. So you have to replace the right type of a propeller. Okay. Once you connect back the propeller to the motor, check for smooth spinning. Okay, so every time you take a flight, before you take the flight, make sure all, if there are 4 propellers, check all the 4. If there are 6 propellers, check all the 6 propellers for smooth spinning, okay, before the flight. So you are actually checking your propellers as well as your motor functionality manually before actually the flight. Okay, this is mandatory things you need to do. Okay, check for wiring. If there is any wiring coming out and all the things, you check, like especially the battery wires. Especially you will see in our drones, you will see the battery wires. So you check, make sure that they are being checked properly and there is no disconnections or anything like that over there. Okay, I talked about the motor repair also, like you can open the motor also, but you should do it only unless you are being trained for this thing. If you are not trained or you are not aware how to do it, don't do it. You get the engineer to do it, or you can refer the maintenance manual. If the maintenance manual tells how to do it, then follow the instruction as per the manual and do it. Okay, if you are not there, if you do not have those instructions or anything, don't do it. Okay, same goes for the camera, landing gear. Okay, if there are landing gears with the springs or hydraulic or anything like that, or movements, there are a lot of landing gears which makes the motions, okay, up and downs, okay, or bending, all those things. So those also you need to check, because a lot of time when you take the flight and that the landing gear doesn't go up, okay, it gets stuck. So a lot of time you have to use W40, okay, that solution you have to spray in the movement location or the bearing locations, okay, or the hinges locations, okay. Or if there is a springs, over the period of time because of the moisture they get rusted, so you have to remove. Even your landing gear will have a rubber softeners, okay, so you have to replace them over the period time, like 6 months, 1 year. When you are replacing, don't replace 1 or 2, out of 4 there is a possibility that one would have got more damaged or more have gone more worn out. So don't change only one, you have to change all the 4. Okay, नहीं तो क्या हो जाएगा, unbalance हो जाएगा, right? So in that case, when you are replacing, you normally replace all the 4. Like हम लोग टायर में भी करते हैं, अगर हमारा टायर एक आध टायर पर मेजर प्रॉब्लम है तो हम सिंगल टायर चेंज करते हैं. बट ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ ईयर्स, लाइक 3 years 5 years, हमारा टायर, ऑल द 4 टायर्स गेट वर्न आउट. सो दैट पॉइंट टाइम वी आर नॉट चेंजिंग ओनली एक मेरा सबसे ज्यादा टायर वर्न आउट हुआ तो मैं वही चेंज करूंगा. नॉर्मली इन दैट सिनेरियो व्हाट विल डू, we'll change all the 4 tires same time, okay, so that we have a good surface coverage of the car. So similarly during the drones also, change all the 4 rubber mattings of the rubber suspensions on the landing gear. Okay, again with the antenna, a lot of time antennas sometimes they get damaged, okay, because they are external or they are away from the body of the source. Okay, so a lot of times these antennas get entangled or they get damaged during the transit and all those things. So if you find any time the antenna and all those things, you should always replace. क्योंकि कभी कभी क्या होता है, there is a damaged antenna, so signal is not properly transmitted. Again, when you are using the controls like RC or ground control, make sure your antennas are extended to the fullest so that the signal is being transmitted or received properly. Okay, don't leave antennas unfolded or in a folding situation. Okay, whenever you are using the drone for flying, make sure your drone antennas as well as your ground control or remote control antennas are open conditions. Okay, again we talked about the battery inspection. Make sure your charger, docking stations, they are initially they are in good condition, but over the period of time you will always find some error, some issues and all things. So if your charger is getting some issues, it is not charging the properly, you should always replace your charger. Similarly for the batteries, in case of you find the batteries are bulge, leakage is happening and they are not charging to the fullest, you should always replace those batteries. Those should not use those batteries over the period of time. Okay, so battery inspection, bulges, deformities, any signs leakage affected, pack must be replaced immediately. Like if you see in DJI or even in our case, we always use 3 set of batteries. So our batteries are all numbered. So when we are using them, we are using them in sequence, like battery 1, 2 and 3. So we'll first charge the battery 1, then we'll charge battery 2, then we'll charge battery 3. In the usage also, we'll be connecting first battery, then second battery, third battery. So that cycle will continuous, and we'll be maintaining a log. Okay, a battery log is also to be maintained. So normally I will be showing you to do it manually. Okay, either we will writing it on a paper or a notebook, or maybe on a mobile. Okay, we'll be just putting what battery we are charging now, what battery we are using when we are flying. So all that records will be maintaining, maybe in some form, maybe not in a proper format, but at any given point in time you should always have some record. You should make a note, like, okay, now I'm using battery, I mean using a drone, let's say I'm using DJI Mini with battery 1, okay, and time, okay, 100% charge, like that. You should maintain a log of your battery or usage of your battery, charging of your battery. Okay, replace the damaged batteries if necessary. If you find any kind of a damaged battery is there, they should immediately replace them. Okay, cell voltage must not have a difference more than zero point 0.2 volts. So if you see different cells, so normally you will see this battery is having a number of cells, like 2 cells, 3 cells, 4 cells, 5 cells, 6 cells, like that. You will 12 cells, 10 cells. So every time you see measure the voltage, you have to measure the voltage of each cell. If you find any time that there is a difference of more than 0.2 volt, then you should ideally not use that battery. You should charge that battery to 100%, then only you should use it. If you find there is a difference in the cell voltages with more than 0.2 volt, you should not use those batteries. Okay. Software, hardware, I told you about software and firmware. So normally you have to follow what is the guidelines given by the OEM. So in DJI case, they always say that you always keep your software and firmware updated. Whereas in type certified drones, DGCA says that don't update it. It is not advisable to update. You have to use only the certified software and firmware during the type certification. That software only, firmware has to be used by the people. So every time you have to upgrade your software or firmware in any third party drone, refer to the manuals. Okay, find how it is to be done or take a guidance from the respective OEMs. Okay, you may log a case first time to know how to do it. Okay, and then you can make a note or you can refer to the manual. Accordingly, you can do it. Okay, software, firmware, again for GCS also, lot of time it is advisable to use the stable version of the software. Okay, the control station software. If you are using any GCS, okay, so make sure that these GCS devices are always kept updated. Okay, ignoring the update may lead to unexpected error. So lot of time, there would be some warnings or notifications. So you will see when we are flying the drone, I will always ask you to check the first notification. So if your notification is good, then only you are allowed to fly the drone. So we are actually checking the notification every time we are flying. So first question from a co-pilot. So co-pilot normally will be standing initially next to the drone, whereas the pilot will be standing away from the drone of minimum distance of 5 meters. Okay, minimum 5-meter distance you have to keep from the drone to the pilot. So co-pilot will be normally standing next to the drone. He will be asking you certain questions like what is the status of your notifications. So he will check the notification screen and tell to the co-pilot that I am getting a standard switch notification of 1 time, twice, thrice. So if you get successfully good notification 3 times, then you are allowed to fly the drone. Okay, then he may ask you a couple of more questions, like for example he may ask you what is the battery level. Okay, if you say my battery level is 100%, if you say 50%, then it is advisable not to fly that drone. Okay, 50 or 45%, less than 45%, it is not advisable to fly our drones. For example, your drone like DJI drones, it may be configured for 10%, 20%, 25%, depending on drone to drone and what is the threshold is been configured. In our drone, the threshold is configured for 40%. Okay, so that's why to be on a safer side, we fly only drone up to 50%. After 50%, we'll land the drone and then we'll swap the batteries. Okay, so we'll remove those discharged batteries and we'll put the fresh batteries and then fly our drone again. Okay, again the new set of batteries will fly up to 50%. Once that battery is also gone up to 50%, we will land the drone. Again, we'll change the battery accordingly. Okay, so that is what we should follow. So this is the procedure you need to follow when you are flying the drone. The pilot, the pilot and the co-pilot will say, once the co-pilot is satisfied with the 4 parameters he needs to ask to the pilot and he gets the perfect answers or perfect points, then only he will turn off the safety switch. Till that mode, your drone is been configured for a safety feature, that is safety switch is on. So whatever you do on the remote controller, your drone will not take off. Okay. So that safety switch has to be turned off by the co-pilot, then only the pilot. So once he is put off the safety switch, the co-pilot will come towards the pilot, and then the pilot has to trigger the flight. Okay, till the co-pilot is not next to him, he should not give the triggering of the drone. Okay, that is what the standard procedure we will following when we are doing our flying trainings. Okay, so scheduling the servicing for airframe, propellers, motors, gimbal, landing gear, camera. So depending upon whatever it is, you should have a servicing. Like every time you will not be changing the landing gear, or you will not be changing the motors or propellers or airframe or gimbal. So every time you will have its own schedule for different things. Okay, so servicing the airframe, how do you do it? Like normally you will remove the battery, you will detach everything, and you will change. So maybe over the period of maybe 1 year, 2 years, you may have to do a thorough servicing of your airframe. That means you will be removing all the components and cleaning everything, and then reassemble back it. Or if your airframe has gone bad or your frame has got damaged, in that scenario you may have to reassemble it on a new airframe. Okay, so that is what you should know. Similarly for the propellers also, again, whenever propellers are damaged or over the period of usage, you will see they will get damaged or they will be worn out. Okay, the propeller will get worn out. You will see the shape of the edges, they become uneven. Right now they will see very smooth and fine structure of the propellers, but over the period of time of flight, like almost for a year, if you are flying the drones, you will see there is a the shape on the propellers are not good, or tips are broken, or tips have gone bad. All those things happen. So that time you should change the propellers. Similarly for the motors also, over the period of time, if you find the motor is not giving you efficient or flying not spinning properly or smoothly, or there is a mud or dust that accumulated inside the motor, you have to change the motor. So disassemble the frame, disconnect the component, identify the faulty motor, make a note which direction. So this is a standard motor, a basic motor is there, but enterprise drone will have a motor which has a direction. This motor doesn't have a direction. Okay, this is a very normal basic motor, but enterprise drone will always have the direction on the motors. So you have to use the same motor or type of same motor to replace it. अगर clockwise है तो clockwise replace करो, counter clockwise है तो counter clockwise ही use करो. Okay, in enterprise drones. Okay, this type of motor doesn't matter because this motor doesn't have a orientation. You can use either of them. All motors are same. So this motor cost you around, I think, 400 rupees to 500 rupees. So these are very cheap motor for fun flying or hobby flying. You can use these motors. Okay, again goes for gimbal also. Gimbal also has the motors inside. So that also needs, over the period of extensive use, it needs servicing. Okay, or if it is gone faulty or anything, you have to replace. Yesterday only one of my students has shared a photograph of a DJI drone where his gimbal is not aligning properly, so it is giving some errors. Okay, so probably he has to change that gimbal, or he has to service the gimbal. Okay, he tried doing recalibration manually as well as through the software and all the things, but it is not coming back to the normal. So probably he has to disconnect the gimbal and check what is the problem. If there is a major problem, he may have to replace the gimbal with the new gimbal, or if it can be serviced, then he has to do the servicing. So a lot of times that because of the dust and all the things, especially the dust is the biggest culprit even in the gimbal section. Okay, so whatever the errors we are getting on the control, it is suspecting that there is a dust inside the motor. Okay, so you need to get it cleaned. Okay, that is why it is not getting aligned properly during the flight. Okay, again the landing gear. Okay, retractable landing gears, especially I told you, you have to check whether the retractable motion is happening properly or not before the drone is taken into the flight. So you have to check the motion of the gear. Okay, if it is a fixed landing gear, check for any bending or any cracks or any damage to the landing gear. Okay, because when during the flight it will go in the air, but during the landing it may cause a trouble, or it may land as a crash. Okay, it may crash or it may topple the drone. Okay, at that point in time. So if you find any damage landing gear or thing, you should always replace it before the flight. Okay, again the camera, lot of time people forget to clean the camera lenses, remove the camera caps, and then they fly and then they realize that they have not released. Even sometimes some cameras have their own internal motions also, so you have to clean those, all those things. Make sure your cameras are being clean and properly serviced before the flight. Okay, so with that we complete our topic of drone equipment maintenance. There will be practical session also, we will be doing it during our day 3. So after the simulator session, we will be going to the store area and we'll be actually checking our drones. Okay, we'll be taking our drones out from the boxes and making them ready. So we'll be seeing each components of the drone. We'll be seeing how to set up the drones because arms will be folded and all the things. So we have to see how to make the drone ready for the flight. So all that things will be part of your drone equipment maintenance session. So here we have just covered theoretically, but practically also we'll be seeing the separate components of your drones also during your drone equipment maintenance session also there on day 3. Okay, so any questions we have so far on the equipment maintenance, drone maintenance, or we are good?
No
Or
questions.
we can take up the